Hi everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. I'm here with two of our certified caregiving consultants, Melinda and Kathy. Hi Melinda, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, Denise. How are you?
Good. Hi Kathy, how are you?
I'm fine, Denise. How are you?
Good, good. And Melinda and Kathy have joined me because we have a new service that our certified caregiving consultants offer, and it's called Legacy Listeners. In essence, after your caree dies, you can schedule a free 30-minute call with Melinda or Kathy and talk about what you want to talk about. It could be about your caree's last days or moments. It could be about the perspective of your caregiving experience. It could be where you are right now after your caree's death. And after your 30 minutes, you can decide if you want to continue to schedule sessions, and both Melinda and Kathy will talk to you about prices at that time to continue to share what caregiving has been like for you and what life is like for you after caregiving ends. The reason that we're doing this is we know that after caregiving ends, you have stories to tell, but you might not have a listener. And that's the role that Melinda and Kathy both play, a listener for you. And as a listener, it's about your stories, which is great because you can tell whatever you want and you can talk about it for as long as you want. So Melinda, why is this a service that's of interest to you? Why did you want to get involved as a legacy listener?
I wanted to get involved because I think that this type of work is so important. And I think that both the caregiving experience and also the grieving experience are very personal experiences, obviously. They can also be isolating depending on who's in your support network or who's not in your support network, what other family experiences are like, in your own personal situation. And so anything that I can do to help people who've been caregivers who are now going through the grieving process, just to help ease that transition, to be there to support. I was lucky enough to receive some great support after my father passed. And so it's my way of kind of paying it forward to others who are going through a similar experience. I think it's just so valuable and it's such meaningful work.
Kathy, you and I actually talked this out as an idea several weeks
We did.
ago. And it was something that it seemed to resonate with you when I said, what do you think about this? Why would this be something that's meaningful for you to do in your work?
Well, for the past year and a half, I've been the moderator of a chat room where people talk about what happens when caregiving ends. And I found such a range of experience that people have had and such a range of really wonderful insights and questions and issues that they want to deal with, that it's really important to me to be able to work with people around those issues and to have time to talk with them about that. My most recent caree died a sudden death, and I found that I was going anywhere I could to try to, get comfort, get answers, get information, share. And I think it's nice to have a dedicated place you can go where you have someone who will listen to you and respect your stories.
I also think that the stories that we tell after caregiving ends include pain. There's our heartache and heartbreak, and we're also, in many ways, getting a perspective around maybe our caree's pain. And it can be hard for people to sit with a story that includes pain. And as certified caregiving consultants, that's actually part of our training. We learn how to be with someone and hear the stories of pain. So Melinda, I'm just curious, this is kind of an odd question, but why doesn't that scare you off to hear stories that include pain?
That's a great question. I think, like I said before, I think it's so important to listen to these stories, to be that safe place and that safe space for someone who's in pain, to just be able to share without any sort of judgment, or anything like that. I think a lot of times it's almost easier to talk to someone who hasn't been involved in the situation, who doesn't like have intimate knowledge of what happened, because it's this kind of outside perspective. And so if you can offer that to someone, it can really help ease a lot of that pain, and make things a little bit more peaceful as time goes on. And so for me, the potential to help people outweighs, you know, any sort of hesitation I would have. I mean, it's definitely difficult. You know, it's not, you know, it's not without its challenges, but like I said, I feel like the benefit of it, it's something that's so valuable that thought, the thought of being able to help people just kind of outweighs any sort of hesitation I would have about being involved.
Yeah. And Kathy, for you, you've listened to a lot of stories already. What is it that draws you to stories around caregiving and after caregiving?
That's a good question too, Denise. I think it's really the same process that we go through as a caregiver. You know, it's really understanding somebody's stories, understanding who they are, meeting them where they are, helping them move along to the next place, that kind of thing. I think I really enjoy that, you know, seeing people feel accepted, seeing people feel understood, and sort of giving them tools that will help them move along that journey.
We call this a legacy listening offering or service, because in many ways, what Melinda and Kathy are receiving are the legacy of a caregiving experience. They're also receiving the legacy of your caree's personal story. So when you meet with them, you can ask them to record the session that they have with you. And you can use the recordings in any way that you want. You could receive an archive of your meeting with Kathy, for instance, and decide, I'm just going to save it in my Dropbox, and I'm not going to do anything with it, but I'm going to let the kids know it's there. Or you could share it in an email. You could forward it right away to anyone who you think would benefit from hearing it. So the idea is that you tell the story, which gives you perspective, which I think promotes healing, but then you save the story, you preserve it so that the next generation understands you and your caree, which I think is so powerful. Okay, any last thoughts, Melinda or Kathy, anything that I didn't cover that you'd like to add?
Not for me. I would just, you know, reiterate, I'm very excited to be starting in on this work. It's something I'm looking forward to very much.
I'm really looking forward to hearing people's stories and finding out more about their carees. And I think the legacy piece is so important to have, you know, for themselves and for to share with others.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can connect with Melinda and Kathy on the Caregiving Years Training Academy website, and that address is careyearsacademy.com. And then you can schedule a free 30-minute session with them. You'll actually experience what it's like to work with them, what it's like to tell them your story, and then you can decide how you want to continue in terms of working with them. But we're honored that you're considering this, and we are hopeful that you will share stories with us because we want to hear them. We really do want to preserve them for you. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks Melinda, thanks Kathy, great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm Denise Brown, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.